Hey everybody, my name is Savannah and welcome back to my booktube channel. So really quick, I've been gone for a long time. Quick explanation, basically it was May, finals came up, so I was focusing on that, and then my phone broke, so I couldn't film forever, and then I moved, if you've noticed the new setup, I moved from San Francisco back to Colorado where I'm from, and I had to wait until I could unpack, and it was messy, and also I was lazy, so you know, that was fun. But I wanted to come back and start with the Authortube Newbie Tag. I'm starting to write, or actually I've been writing now for a couple of months, so I thought I'd share that with you. So the first question is, how did I find out about Authortube? I don't know. Yeah, I don't, it was YouTube, somebody did it somewhere, and I've just been thinking about it, I don't know. What What genre do I write? So I write high fantasy pretty much exclusively. All my book ideas are high fantasy. It's gonna be exhausting. Preferred writing tense. I naturally gravitate towards third person. I tried for a while to write in first person, but I have a hard time with I, and I did this, and I thought. It just doesn't work, and it doesn't feel right to me, which is weird because I enjoy reading that the most actually, but okay, whatever. What category do I write? So it's funny because I read mostly YA, and I really thought I was going to be writing YA, but what I'm working on right now, both of the projects actually, are a lot more adult or new adult even. So it's adult that thinks it's YA, or YA that thinks it's adult. I don't know, we'll find out together. Am I a plotter or a pantser? I really thought I was going to be a plotter, and I really tried to plot for a while. It didn't work. It was too constricting, and I'd plot something, and then I'd be writing, and I was like, wait, no, this doesn't work, and I'd end up ignoring it, but it wouldn't quite work, because I couldn't just ignore it, because I'd still try to follow the plot I had, like, mapped out, and so it just ended up being awkward and not really working, so instead, I just sort of know where I need to end up, and then I just kind of, like, throw myself headfirst downhill and see what happens. And so far it's working. My dream publishing house or agent. Now, this one is tricky because, again, for a long time I assumed I was just going to be writing YA, and then once I started I realized it's probably not going to be YA. And so most of my research and like the publishing houses and imprints I was familiar with were all specifically YA. So it's kind of hard to say. If I do like new adult, I'd really like to do like Wednesday Books or something like that. But other than that, it's kind of up in the air, and I'm unprepared, and it's fine. What author videos can be expected? Um, Interesting question. Not sure. Probably a lot of me drunk ranting, because I'm 21 now, which means I can drink without getting in trouble. Didn't drink before now. Yikes. Um, when did I start writing? So I started writing, I think I was 12 when I actually wrote my first, like, book. And it's exactly what you would have expected from me, because of course there was a villainous love interest, but it honestly read a lot more like Mortal Instruments fan fiction. Basically the main characters were just like copy and pastes of Jace and Clary, except Jace was like a straight up murderer. It was really problematic and bad. But honestly, I support myself, and not all the writing was bad. I recently reread parts of it, and like a lot of it was painful, but like I did some solid descriptions, so you know, that's fun. Um, what authors inspire me the most? I think I'd have to say Victoria Schwab, just because the way she writes, I follow her on Twitter, and she's so dedicated and like meticulous, and she always talks about how hard it is for her to like just sit down at a computer and like write. And I have the same trouble a lot of the times. I can't just sit there for hours and hours and get out like thousands of words. It literally does not work for me. And so I'm finally figuring out how to be okay with that, but I think just like her work ethic is super impressive. Also, I like her books, so that's fun. Also Jay Kristoff, just because he gets super extra with his prose, and that is me. That's what I do. So, do I schedule my writing sessions, or do I just sort of work around them? I pretend to schedule them and then I don't stick to them, because I guess for me, writing hits me at the most random of times. So like last night I was like having a hard time writing, and then out of fucking nowhere inspiration, and then I just wrote like pages and pages and pages, and I sent them all to my friends, and it was all really self-indulgent and great. Um, so I pretend to schedule and then I don't follow through. Um, do I type or handwrite? I type. I thought for a while I'd handwrite, but like that's too much work. I don't want to write it twice. No thanks. Where do I write? So I have a hard time writing in my house most of the time. A lot of times I need to go somewhere like a library or a coffee shop. And if I go somewhere specifically to write, it's a lot easier for me to focus. Um, but I guess it just sort of depends because, again, writing inspiration hits me at random times. So, like last night at 10 o'clock, suddenly that was the time to write. So, like, it sort of depends. Um, and I guess what's actually really been helping me is that the book I'm writing, one of them, the one I'm farthest along on, is really heavy and difficult for me, and so that one I really struggle with. So for a while I was trying to meet a word goal of like 1,000 words a day, and that wasn't working just on one book. So then alongside that, I have like a really self-indulgent, like super romance heavy one that's just so much fun for me to write, and so I write like 500 minimum of each a day. That's the new goal, and I think that's a lot more doable than just focusing on one, because otherwise I just get overwhelmed and it's hard and I suffer. So what am I looking forward to in AuthorTube? Uh, Talking about my book because I love it. It's real good, you know. So yeah.